Hello, hello
Hello,
Andres.
teacher.
How are you doing? Hello Daniela.
Hi,
Hi Junior. How are you doing? Hi Katrina. Hi Melanie.
Hello,
Hi,
teacher.
teacher.
Oh guy. Hello guys. How are you,
hi, teacher.
Camila? Hey Zuli. Hey Maddie. Hey Byron. How are you doing today?
Teacher.
Hello.
Hi,
How are you guys? How's it going? Hi Mateo.
Very tired.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Anyway.
Hello, teacher.
Hi. How are you? How are you doing? Okay, guys. Let's start by practicing a little bit what we have studied. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Let's use the WhatsApp group. Okay, we're gonna be using the WhatsApp group. Right, so I'm gonna type. Let's suppose I did something that wasn't a good idea. Okay, let's suppose I did something that I shouldn't have done. Okay, and you're gonna tell me what you would have done instead. Okay, like for example. Okay, so let's get ready. Let's get ready with the WhatsApp group, and this is gonna be the thing. I'm gonna say I don't know. I lent $1,000 to a friend. Mhm. And he never paid me back. Okay, so I lent $1,000 to a friend. Excuse me, sorry. I lent $1,000 to a friend and he never paid me back. Okay, so you have to type a sentence of what you would have done, but remember you have to say, I would, something like that. Okay, so let's go to the WhatsApp group, take a look at that, and you're going to tell me what you would have done. All right, what you would have done. And well, let me add something before you start typing. Okay, Atlanta. I asked him politely to give me back my money, but he just got angry. Angry and he won't take my calls. Okay, so this is the situation. This is the situation. So tell me what you would have done instead. Okay. All right, ready?
Okay.
Okay, great. And I'm also going to be sharing the screen with you so that everybody can see, okay? Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one, Mateo. But what you have to do is give me something that you would have done. En realidad, lo que tendrían que hacer es empezar con I would, alguna frase, con lo que ustedes hubiesen hecho, ¿no? I would have, etc. Right? So that is what you have to do.
Okay.
But what you wrote is very well written, though. Okay, very good, very good. So Zuli says, I would have told him that I didn't have that amount of money at that time. Very good, very good. That's great. Who else? Who else? Come on, guys. Yeah, that's a very good example. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue typing. Come on, Camila. Come on, Katrina. What would you have said? Come on, Byron. Andres, what would you have said?
Teacher, I don't understand what I have to do. Can you repeat me, please?
Yeah, sure. Go to the WhatsApp group. Go to the WhatsApp group. Read the message that I wrote there, and you have to tell me what you would have done if you were in my place. Okay? Entonces, ¿qué hubieran hecho ustedes si ustedes hubiesen estado en mis zapatos? So that is the thing. Okay, I would have said him that I don't like to lend money. Very good, Mateo. Very good. I would have told him that I would lend him money if he promised to pay me back. Okay, very good, very good. Great. I would have told him that I need to pay off debts. Very good. And this word that Daniela is providing perhaps is something that that is new to many of you. What is the meaning of this word? Debts, which Daniela wrote. Do you know? Well, except Daniela, but what about the rest of you? What is the meaning of debts?
Deudas.
Yes, correct. Deudas. Correct. Una deuda, a debt. Y noten, esa B no suena para nada, ¿no? Debt. Debt. A veces suelen confundirse y piensan que estoy hablando de muerte, pero no, recuerden, muerte con TH es death. Death, como la feta española, ¿no? Y más bien deuda se pronuncia debt. Debt. Solo que esa B, that B doesn't make any sound, all right? So I would have told him that I need to pay off debts. Very good. And this payoff is very well said as well. Very good. I would have told him to wait until I get the money. Okay. Very good, Melanie. Camila, I would have told him that I have necessities and I need the money. Very good. Very good. So yeah, not a very good idea to lend $1,000 if you're not rich or something, right? Mateo says, I would have told him that I borrowed that money. Okay, very good. So it wasn't yours. It was borrowed. Good, good, good. Very good. Who else is around? Let's see. So what about the rest of you? What about Maddie? What about Brandon? What about Gabriela? What about Esteban? What about Jennifer? What about Mateo Negrete? Yes, Mary. I would have told her that if I lend her the money, it's because I trusted her. Very good, very good, very good. That's a great sentence, Mary. Very good. The only little correction, Mary, here is that this verb is not regular, it is irregular, so the past is lent with a T, But other than that, great. It's a very good sentence. Okay, Eduardo says, I would have told him that someone wants to kill me if I don't pay my debts, so I need the money. Very good, yeah. Excellent. Very good, Andres. I would have told him.
Sure. El that.
Sorry?
El that sí es opcional, ¿no?
Sí, es opcional.
Caso.
Ahora, no siempre es opcional. Hay casos en los que sí es obligatorio, pero en este caso es opcional.
Claro.
En este caso es opcional.
Pero, por ejemplo, ahorita es ya.
Correcto, that's right. La única correccióncita es que sería con minúscula, ¿no? That's the only little correction. But other than that, it's very
Sí, ahí se me...
A veces se pasa, yo sé. That's right, very good. Seguramente sabíamos, solo se nos fue como typo que a veces pasa, ¿no? But very good, very good. So I would have told him that I didn't have the money at the time. Very good, Byron, very good. So Jennifer, I would have made him sign a document that guarantees the return of the money. Great idea, Jennifer. Very well said. Camila, I would have called him from another phone to tell him that it's time to him get back my money. Okay, very good. Muy bien. Like to scare the person a little bit, right? Very good, Camila. Just a little correction, Camila. In this case, it's time, let's change the 2 by a 4, okay? It's time for him to get back my money, okay? So that's the only correction, but very good. Let's see, Joseph. I would have told him that I would lend him the money if he was going to be able to pay me back. Okay, very good. Very good. Miguel says, I wouldn't have lent the money. You should see who you trust and who would return your money. Very good. Awesome. And Melanie says, I would have sent him a message saying that he will have time, but to return the money. Okay. All right. Very good. Great examples, guys. Very good, very good. Okay, good job, everybody. Good job. This was pretty good, pretty good. So that is the idea, right? That is the idea. And now let's do something similar. Let's do something similar, but let's time, instead of saying I would, let's say you should. And this time, let's not type it, let's record it, okay? Let's practice speaking a little bit just by recording the messages, okay? So again, the same thing, same situation, but instead of saying I would, let's say you should. Si recuerdan, ¿no? En este caso ustedes están diciendo I would porque es lo que ustedes hubieran hecho, I would. Pero si le dicen a alguien, deberías haber hecho esto otro, pues obviamente va a ser con you, ¿no es cierto? Do you get it? Do you understand? So let me give you an example.
Yes, teacher.
Great. I'm going to record an example to myself, okay? Digamos que soy otra persona que me estoy contestando a mí mismo, ¿no es cierto? You shouldn't have lent him so much money if you didn't have that kind of money. Esa es una expresión. If you didn't have that kind of money. Sería como decir ese tipo de dinero, pero se refiere a esa cantidad de dinero, ¿no es cierto? For example, I never dreamed of making that kind of money. Nunca soñé en hacer tanto dinero, ¿no? Sería el sentido que tiene esa frase. All right, that's the thing. Okay, so I recorded one for you, an example. Now you keep recording other examples for the same situation, but using you should. You should have, right? You should have, because remember, this is something that happened in the past. Okay? So here it is again. You shouldn't have lent him so much money if you didn't have that kind of money. Right?
Teacher, we have to record it.
Yes, that's right. This time you have to record it, okay? Okay?
Can you?
Sorry, I didn't get that. Okay. All right, let's see what Katrina says. Or maybe not. Not yet.
Sorry, teacher. Estaba probando el audio porque estoy en mi celular y no sabía si podía enviar, aunque tenga Zoom activado.
Okay, it's okay. Never mind. It's okay. Okay, let's hear what Camila has to say.
You should have told him that you don't have the money.
That's right, very good. That's right. Just a little correction there. Cambiemos ese, Camila say you don't have the money or you didn't have the money. Other than that, it's very good and your pronunciation is very good. See? Pronunciation and fluency, which is also very, very important. Yes, Mateo, what you have to do is to Mateo and Mari, what you have to do is record a message, okay, similar to the previous one, but instead of using I would, this time you have to use you should have, okay, you should have. Para la misma situación que puse, que le presté los $1000 al amigo, ¿no es cierto? Denme ahora consejos a pasado, ¿no? Más que consejos serían como juicios, ¿no? Ah, deberías haber hecho esto, no deberías haber hecho esto, ¿no es cierto? But this time, let's record them, okay? This time, instead of saying I would, let's say you should, okay? Let's see, Miguel.
You should have amount of money that he could return to you soon.
All right, let me hear again.
You should have lent an amount of money that he could return to you soon.
Okay, very good. You're welcome, guys. Okay, very good. Let's see, Katrina.
You don't have lent him money if you know he never returned it.
All right, very good, Katrina. Although I was interrupting you there, but yes, very good, very good. Okay, let's see, Gabriela.
You should have denounced him.
Yeah, that's a good one. Very good, very good.
Teacher, debemos hacer como que si fuera, o sea, como si le dijéramos a usted o a
Yes,
su
that's
amigo.
right. Bueno, supongamos que fui yo el que hizo esto, ¿no? Sí, como si me dijeran a mí. Yo soy el que metió la pata prestando esos $1000, entonces deberían decírmelo a mí, ¿no? Right?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's see. Mateo?
You should have seen how much money you had at the time.
Very good, very good. Let's see, Zuli?
You should have told him that you had already lent your savings to your parents.
Very good, very good. Solo creo que
You should
let's
have
listen to that one more time, just in case. I think there was a little thing there.
You should have told him that you had already
Yes,
lent.
very good, very good. Very good, Zuli. You should have told him that you had already spent your savings. Very good. Let's see, Byron.
Lent him the money.
Sorry, let me
You should have loaned him the money. It may be urgent.
Very good. Very good. Yes, and it's also a good idea for you to listen to your classmates' recordings. We always learn from each other as well, right? Not just for me, but you can learn from yourselves. You can learn from everybody, from all your classmates and everything. Okay, very good. Let's see, Freddie.
You should have saved some money to pay your bills.
Very good, very good.
You should have saved.
Awesome, Freddy. That was very good. Just a little correction, solo una correccioncita. Al pronunciarlo, no pronunciemos la L, sino la D, ¿no? No digamos should, sino should. Should. Okay? But other than that, it was very good. Let's see, Daniela.
You should have made a contract to show that you lent him the money.
Awesome. Very good.
If you weren't sure he will pay you, you should have lent him money.
Very good. You shouldn't have lent him money. Very good, Andres. Very good. Awesome job, guys. Very good, very good. Okay, guys, that was very good. Good job, everybody. Good job. And now let's move to, okay, let's listen to one last one, okay? Let's listen to Melanie's, and that's gonna be the last I'm gonna listen for today, okay? But that was very good, very good. Or Joseph. Let's listen to a couple more of them.
You shouldn't have lent him the money if you didn't have enough for yourself.
Very good.
Should have loaned more the money you lent because it takes you a long time to earn it.
Very good, Joseph. Very good. And Karen says, I should have sent him a message saying that I will have time, but to return the money. Very good, very good. The only little change, Karen, let's make here that we have to make here is saying you should, because in this case it's like you're telling this to me, right? So if you say I should, it would be like you did the thing. But in this case, you're speaking to somebody else, in this case to me, so let's say you should. But other than that, it's good. Let's see, Katrina.
Lend him money if it was only for something important.
Okay. Very good. And Mateo says, I would have. Good one, good one. Just a little correction here, Mateo. Since you're using have, this doesn't. This should be bought. Okay, the participle. Okay, this should be the participle, Mateo. But other than that, it's good. Let's see, Mari.
He should have secured well and made him sign some paper.
All right, very good, very good. Let's only make one little change, Mary. Instead of saying he, let's say you, because you're speaking directly to me. Let's say you're saying this to me, okay? But very good, very good. Okay, guys, good job. That was a very good job, and I like your pronunciation. You're saying things very well. Very good, very good. Okay, now let's take a look at this for a moment, okay? Let's have a quick review of something that you know already, that you have studied in previous courses, and we also did a review with me at the beginning of the course during this year about this. But anyway, let's do it again, just a little bit so you remember, okay? Like, for example, I'm gonna write a sentence and I'm gonna do it in Spanish, okay? I'm gonna do it in Spanish. I'm gonna say, well, first of all, can you see the word screen right now?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. So let's say, Leonardo da Vinci pintó la Mona Lisa, ¿sí? En realidad debería, ya que estoy tipeando, debería escribir esto con cursiva, ¿no? Sino como ustedes suelen escribir a mano, pues no hay forma de hacer cursiva a mano, o todo es cursiva, entonces no se diferencia mucho, pero para los nombres de obras y de cosas suele usarse la cursiva, ¿no es cierto? Entonces Leonardo da Vinci pintó la Mona Lisa. So, just the thing, this is what is called in English and also in Spanish, the active voice. This is a sentence in which the subject of the sentence is actively performing the action, right? Entonces el sujeto de la oración está al comienzo realizando directamente la acción, ¿no es cierto? Ahora, en español mismo, esto es algo que ustedes ya han estudiado en ciclos anteriores. ¿Quién recuerda cómo diría lo mismo? Who remembers? How do I say the same thing but using the passive voice?
La Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci.
Right, awesome guys, very good. La Mona Lisa fue pintada por Leonardo da Vinci. Very good. Do you know why his last name was Da Vinci? Does anybody know that? Why was he called Da Vinci? Does anybody know? It's because he lived in a small village that was called Vinci. The place where he was born and where he lived was called Vinci. So, él era Leonardo de Vinci, ¿sí? O sea, venía de allá. That's the origin of some last names in history, right? Anyway, just a little parenthesis there, okay? So, that's the thing. La Mona Lisa. Let's put this in. So, we make a switch, right? We make a switch between the active and the passive voice. Now, how do you say this one in English? Leonardo da Vinci pintó la Mona Lisa. How do you say that one in English?
Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa.
That's right. Leonardo da Vinci. Sorry. There we go. Painted. That's right. Remember that in this case, we have to make the E sound. Why am I making the E sound in this case for painted?
Because the last letter that we pronounce is the T.
Exactly. Exactly. Very good. Very good. That's exactly what it is, right? So paint ends in a T, so I have to pronounce the E in ED, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't do that. Remember, not worketh, worked. Remember, not playeth, played. But wanted or wanted, needed or painted as well, right? American painted, British painted, okay? So Leonardo da Vinci painted Mona Lisa. Very good, very good. And now, how do you say the other one in English? How do you say this one in English?
Mona Lisa was by Leonardo.
Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci.
Awesome. Very good, girls. That's right. Excellent. Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. So this is the passive voice. So first, what is one big difference that you see? And as you can see, the thing in Spanish and in English is very much the same. It's very, very similar what happens in Spanish and in English, right? So what is a big difference, or there are a couple, right? But what is a big difference between the active voice and the passive voice? What are the differences that you can see?
In active voice, we give importance to the good guy, and the second, we give importance to the art.
Sorry, yeah, very good, very good. Sorry, my microphone stopped working for a moment involuntarily, but yes, very good, very good. As you say, in the active voice, well, first of all, as you know, a sentence has these parts, right? We have a subject. What is the subject of this sentence?
Leonardo da Vinci.
That's right, Leonardo da Vinci. And what is the object of this sentence?
Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa. That's right. So the object is the Mona Lisa. Remember that this is a grammatical object. Es un objeto gramatical. Entonces no estoy hablando de que sea una cosa que no es persona, ¿no? Sino puede ser una persona también. Se refiere a objeto, como el objetivo, ¿sí? Es la persona o la cosa sobre la cual recae la acción. It is the person or the thing over which the action falls. It's the person or the thing who receives the action, the receiver of the action, right? And the subject is the thing or the person that performs the action, right? El sujeto, en cambio, es la persona o la cosa que realiza la acción, ¿no es cierto? Un terremoto destruyó la ciudad. En esa frase, in that sentence, un terremoto destruyó la ciudad. What is the subject?
Terremoto. The city.
And what is the object?
El terremoto.
Ciudad.
That's right, la ciudad. Entonces, más bien, el sujeto sería el terremoto y el objeto sería la ciudad, ¿no? Un terremoto destruyó la ciudad. An earthquake destroyed the city. So the earthquake, el terremoto, the earthquake is the subject and the city is the object. The thing or the person, la cosa o la persona who performs the action, que realiza la acción, that's the subject. And the thing or the person who receives the action is the object, okay? Very good, very good. So in this case, as you said, Leonardo da Vinci is the subject and Mona Lisa is the object, right? But what about in this case? Y claro, si lo vemos, es como que aquí, lo que arriba era el objeto, aquí está actuando como el sujeto de la oración, ¿no es cierto? Pero en realidad, bueno, es un poco, esto es hasta un cierto debate gramatical. En las frases pasivas, en algunos libros van a encontrar a esto como el sujeto pasivo, ¿no es cierto? Y a Leonardo da Vinci como sujeto pasivo y a Mona Lisa todavía como objeto, ¿no? En otros libros de gramática, en cambio, van a simplemente a ver que se ha cambiado entre sujeto y objeto, que aquí Mona Lisa pasa a ser el sujeto de la oración, ¿no es cierto? Y no hay un objeto en realidad, sino solamente el sujeto activo y el sujeto pasivo. Entonces, para no complicarnos demasiado, simplemente la gran ventaja es que tenemos lo mismo en español, ¿no es cierto? Pero noten que de lo que sería una oración activa, cambiaron el orden de sujeto y objeto, ¿no es cierto? En la oración activa, el sujeto está... ¿Y qué tenemos antes de continuar? Just before we continue, just to get this very clearly. What do we have? Sorry, what do we have between in the active voice? What do we have between the subject and the object? Sorry.
Verb in past.
Yes, we have the verb, exactly. In this case, it is in the past. That's right. In this case, it is in the past, but we have a verb. Sorry, let's set this correctly. So painted would be the verb, right? So the verb is between the subject and the object. So where is the subject? Is it before or after the verb? What do you say, guys? in this active sentence, where is the subject? Before or after the verb?
Before.
It's before the verb. Viene antes del verbo, ¿no es cierto? It's before the verb. And where is the object? Before or after the verb?
After
After the verb. That's right, after the verb. Leonardo da Vinci painted Mona Lisa. But in the passive voice, the things are switched. Tanto en español como en inglés, lo cual es la ventaja, ¿no? Entonces se vuelve no tan difícil de entender, ¿no es cierto? Además de esto, ustedes ya lo han estudiado en ciclos pasados. But anyway, Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. So the person who performed the action goes after the verb, and the object that received the action goes before the verb. So that is one big difference, as you said, between the passive voice and the active voice. That is one big difference. Now, what is another difference that you can see there? Speaking about the verbs, what is another difference that you can see between these two?
We use a verb to be.
Yes, exactly. In this one, we don't, right? In this one, we don't. Well, we could have to be, but we're only going to have that, right? But in this case, in the passive voice, and remember this, in the passive voice, we always use the verb to be. It could be in different tenses. It could be in different forms. It could be was, were, am, is, are, been. Participio también, depende del caso. Will be, si fuera una oración pasiva a futuro, ¿no? Porque también las oraciones activas y pasivas pueden estar en el tiempo que sea. Puedo tener oraciones pasivas en el tiempo que sea. That also happens, right? But yes, I'm always going to have a form of the verb to be, right? So, I'm always going to have to be. In this case in particular, en este caso en particular, what is the tense of the active voice? What is the tense of the active voice?
Past.
Yes, and is it past? That's right, it's a past simple, right? So the verb is also in past simple. Here, what is the tense of was? What is the tense of was?
Past.
It is also the past. But what is, let's not say the tense, no digamos el tiempo, but what is the form? What is the form in this case of painted? Noten que en español es pintada. Entonces, ¿cuál es la forma de este verbo en inglés? What is the form of the verb?
Past participle.
Yes, in this case it's not past simple, it's past participle. Igual que en español, hado, ido, o el femenino, hada, ida, ¿no es cierto? Entonces es un participio, mientras que aquí la forma del verbo es pasado simple, lo cual determina además el tiempo de la oración. Aquí el tiempo de la oración está determinado por el to be. Fue pintada, es en pasado, ¿no es cierto? Pero el verbo en sí, the verb, el verbo en sí está en participio, ¿no es cierto? Fue pintada. That's right. Okay, very good. So that is the thing. So, la Mona Lisa fue pintada por Leonardo da Vinci. Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. Y no se olvidarán que en estas voces pasivas, por sabemos que en muchos casos puede ser for, ¿no es cierto? Puede ser for. Pero en el caso de autoría, de quién hizo algo, ¿no? Ese por es by. Si no lo sabían, anotaránlo, ¿no? Don't forget that and remember it. More than anything, remember it and use it, okay? So, for example, when you see a novel or something, usually you see by, ¿no es cierto? Al final. All right, very good. Producido y dirigido por. Produced and directed by. Típico, ¿no es cierto? Let's write another example. Pongamos otro ejemplo. Asimismo, en activo y pasivo. Let's say, Gabriel García Márquez. ¿Qué novelas conocen de Gabriel García Márquez?
100 años
100 años de soledad.
Pongamos, por ejemplo, 100 años, pongámoslo así, 100 años de soledad. All right, very good. Entonces, Gabriel García Márquez escribió 100 años de soledad. Y ahora hagámosle en español mismo pasiva. ¿Cómo me quedaría la pasiva? En español.
100 años de soledad fue escrita por Gabriel García Márquez.
Exacto, 100 años de soledad fue escrita, la novela, ¿no? Novela hablando, recuerden, novelas no son las telenovelas, son las de verdad. Entonces, 100 años de soledad fue escrita por Gabriel García Márquez, ¿no? Very good, very good. So, well, let's put it this. Okay. Now, let's do it in English, all right? How do you say in English, Gabriel García Márquez escribió, noten, escribió, ¿en qué tiempo estamos? Gabriel García Márquez escribió 100 años de soledad. How do you say that? So, how do you say this one in English? Come on, guys. How do you say this one in English?
Gabriel García Márquez have wrote 100 años de soledad.
Bueno, eso sería más bien ha escrito 100 años de soledad, ¿no? Ha escrito.
Gabriel
Pero
García
escribió-
Márquez wrote 100 años de soledad.
Ajá, correcto. Gabriel García Márquez wrote, well, let's put it in English, 100 years, because it has a translation into English, right? Of solitude. So Gabriel García Márquez wrote 100 years of solitude, right? So, escribió es pasado simple, ¿no? Wrote, segunda columna. Escribí, escribiste, escribimos, lo que sea en pasado completo que ya terminó, es la segunda columna en inglés, no lo olvidarán. ¿Cuáles son las formas de escribir en inglés? ¿Cuáles son las 3 formas? O sea, del verbo escribir.
Write, wrote, written.
Right, write, wrote, written, right? Y por supuesto también podríamos tener el gerundio, ¿no? Writing, pero no lo vamos a poner aquí. Write, wrote, written. Si yo les pido a ustedes que me traduzcan, ¿qué significa wrote? What is the meaning of wrote?
Escribió.
Escribió puede ser si es que es he o she, ¿no es cierto? O it. She wrote, he wrote, it wrote, escribió, ¿no es cierto? Podría decir, Anne Rice escribió Entrevista con el vampiro, en ese caso sería she, pues, ¿no es cierto? That's right. Isabel Allende escribió La Casa de los Espíritus, también sería wrote, escribió, ¿no es cierto? Ahora, ¿qué otra cosa puede significar wrote? Aparte de escribió, ¿qué otra traducción puede tener? ¿Qué significa? ¿Perdón?
Redactar.
Puede ser, claro. Ahora noten, aparte de escribió, ¿sí? También podría ser, ¿cómo le tradujeran si fuera I wrote? ¿Cómo le tradujeran a ese wrote si fuera I wrote?
Escribí.
Escribí, ¿no es cierto? Entonces, escribí, escribió. What else can be wrote? How else can you translate wrote? Escribí, escribió. What else?
Escribieron.
Escribieron. They wrote. They wrote. Ellos o ellas escribieron. They wrote. What else can be wrote? ¿Qué más?
Escribimos.
Escribimos. We wrote. Nosotros escribimos en pasado, ¿no es cierto? That's right. Very good. So, escribí, escribiste, escribió, escribimos, escribieron. Todo eso en inglés es simplemente wrote. Es el pasado. No es yo escribo. Porque eso sería rutina. Claro, yo escribo cartas todos los días. Sino escribí fue en pasado, ¿no es cierto? Wrote. But now, what is the meaning of written? What is the meaning of written? Or written. Escrito, bien, ¿no es cierto? Escrito, eso. ¿Y puede ser otra cosa?
No.
No, es lo único, ¿no? Escrito. Bueno, masculino y femenino, sí, escrito y escrita, ¿no es cierto? Sí, pero fuera de eso, no, nada más. Entonces, recordarán eso de los participios. Normalmente los participios en español, ¿en qué terminan? Normalmente. Hado oído, ¿no es cierto? Pero una que otra excepción, como veíamos al comienzo del ciclo, no decimos escribido, ¿no es cierto? Sino escrito, pero generalmente acaban en hado oído, ¿no es cierto? Right, wrote, written. Ok, entonces ahora ya quedamos. Gabriel García Márquez escribió 100 años de soledad. Gabriel García Márquez wrote, escribió 100 years of solitude, past simple. But now, how do you say 100 años de soledad fue escrita por Gabriel García Márquez? How do you say this one in English?
100 years of solitude was written by Gabriel García Márquez.
Yes, was written by Gabriel García Márquez. Awesome. Very good. Very good. So 100 years of solitude was. ¿En qué tiempo está ese was? Yep, in the past simple, right? That's right. And what is the form? What is the form? And also in Spanish, right? Fue, right? And what is the form of written, escrita? What is the form of this?
Past participle.
Past participle. So don't forget
Past
that.
participle.
Yes, that's right. So, both in Spanish and in English, tanto en español como en inglés, en la oración activa, pues el tiempo de la oración estará dado por el verbo, ¿no es cierto? Por ejemplo, aquí el único verbo que tengo, wrote, me determina que esto es un pasado simple, ¿no es cierto? En la oración pasiva, en cambio, el tiempo de la oración está determinado por el verbo to be. Siempre va a tener verbo to be. Y si Gabriel García Márquez escribió 100 años de soledad, pues el pasado pasivo sería 100 años de soledad fue. Eso le hace pasado, el ser o estar, el to be. Fue escrita, entonces was. Esto le hace pasado. Pero siempre, sin importar el tiempo de la voz pasiva, sin importar el tiempo de la oración, siempre en la voz pasiva voy a tener un verbo en qué.
Past participle.
In past participle. En la voz pasiva siempre fue escrito. Si noten, así esto fuera en presente, ¿no es cierto? Muchas cartas son escritas a Papá Noel cada año por los niños. Son escritas. En este caso ya no es pasado, en este caso es presente, ¿no es cierto? Porque estoy hablando de constancia, de rutina, presente simple. Muchas cartas son escritas a Papá Noel cada año por los niños, por los pobres niños ingenuos. Pero en fin, entonces, ¿cómo sería eso en inglés? Son escritas, eso ya no está en pasado, ¿no es cierto? ¿Cómo sería son escritas?
A lot of letters is written. Y ya me olvidé lo que decía.
It's okay, very good, but very good, muy bien. That's right, to Santa Claus every year, exacto, pero muy bien, muy bien. Solo una correccioncita chica, como es letters en plural, no sería is, sino are, pero el tiempo está muy bien, bien, estuvimos cerca, that's right. Y muy bien, después de ese to be, written igual, no importa en qué tiempo, puede ser was, were, is, am, are, puede ser la forma del to be que sea, pero después siempre voy a tener un participio. So that is the passive voice. That is the passive voice. All right. Now, these examples that we saw were only in the past tense, right? Estos ejemplos que hemos visto han estado en pasado. Pero ahora, veamos un ejemplo en presente. Let's take a look at an example in the present, okay? Por ejemplo, Ecuador exporta muchos productos, ¿sí? Ecuador exporta muchos productos. Esto es activo, ¿no es cierto? En español, hagámosle a esto pasivo. ¿Cómo me quedaría en pasivo?
Muchos productos son exportados por Ecuador.
Exactamente. Muchos productos son exportados por Ecuador. Muy bien. Entonces, esta sería la voz pasiva. Esta sería la voz pasiva. Y notan, aquí no estamos en pasado, sino estamos en presente. Presente simple. No es presente continuo, que sería lo que está pasando este rato o temporalmente, sino presente simple, que es constante, rutinario, ¿no? Ahora, hagámoslo en inglés. How do you say this one in English?
Ecuador exports many products.
That's right. Ecuador exports many o a lot of, como prefieran ustedes, o lots of, todas esas opciones están bien. Lo que no estaría bien es much, porque eso es simple, pero many estaba muy bien. Ecuador exports many products. Very good. Now, let's make the passive in English. How do you say this one in English?
Many products exported by Ecuador are exported.
Exactly.
Many
Are
products
exported
are exported by Ecuador.
by Ecuador. Correct. So this would be the past in the passive voice. Excellent. So as you can see, exporta. Esto sería presente. No es exactamente como decir la forma base, pero bueno, se acerca, digamos, es el presente indicativo, ¿sí? Exporta, exports. Ahora, son, igual estaríamos en presente, ¿no es cierto? Estoy poniendo las formas bases y los presentes estoy poniendo en azul, ¿ok? Como solíamos, ¿sí? Y exportado, exported, ¿en qué forma estaría? What is the form of the verb?
Past participle.
Yes, past participle. That's right. Very good. Very good. Okay, so many products are exported by Ecuador. And don't forget, el por es el by en inglés, ¿no es cierto? En este caso, en muchos otros casos, por es for. ¿Sí? Hice esto por ti. I did this for you, ¿no es cierto? Y for también puede ser para todo otro tema que ya han estudiado ustedes. Pero no olvidarán, cuando se trata de quién lo hace, entonces by. Ok, very good. Ahora, noten una cosa. En español también tenemos la tendencia a expresar esto de esta manera. Muchos productos se exportan. En vez de decir son exportados, también suelo decirlo de esta manera. Muchos productos se exportan, ¿sí? Y en inglés no tengo forma de decir esto. No hay forma de decir se exporta, se hace, se comercia, se produce, se compra. Ese se no existe en inglés. Entonces, todas esas frases con se compra, se produce, se exporta, en inglés se hacen con voz pasiva. ¿Ok? Una vez más, esto es bien importante, pongan atención. Puedo, claro, tener la forma literal de la voz pasiva, ¿no es cierto? En español, muchos productos son exportados, pero en español, si bien puedo decirlo de esa manera, perdón, también puedo decir se exportan. Y es más típico decirlo de esa forma, ¿no es cierto? Muchos productos se exportan anualmente, por ejemplo. Muchos electrodomésticos se producen en China, ¿sí? Cosas así, se hace, se produce, se escribe, ¿sí? Entonces, ese se y después un verbo, pues en inglés no hay forma literal de traducirlo así. Usamos entonces en esos casos la voz pasiva. Y noten que el verbo cambió, esto ya no es exportado, entonces ya no es un participio, pero nuevamente no tengo este se en inglés y aunque el verbo aquí esté en forma, no digamos en forma base, pero en presente, sí, pues en inglés el equivalente en sentido de esta oración sería únicamente la voz pasiva. ¿Está claro? Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, let's try to translate a sentence now. Let's say, for example, muchos dispositivos electrónicos se producen ahí. Se producen ahí. Muchos dispositivos electrónicos se producen ahí. ¿Cómo diríamos en inglés eso? Noten que no va a ser literal la traducción, pero ¿cómo podrían decir eso en inglés guardando ese sentido? ¿Cómo podríamos decir dispositivos electrónicos?
Many dispositives or many electronic devices
Devices,
are
produced there.
Yes. Many electronic devices. Sí existe la palabra dispositive, pero es menos frecuente, ¿no? Device es más típica, más comúnmente usada. So, many electronic devices, very good. Are produced, puse are porque es plural, ¿no? Devices. Entonces, many electronic devices are produced there. Literalmente estoy diciendo, si ustedes lo ven, muchos dispositivos electrónicos son producidos ahí, que también me funciona en español. pero con más frecuencia digo, en vez de son producidos, se producen. ¿Notan eso? Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, very good.
Yes.
So now, in this last minutes, let's take a look at a video, okay? Let's take a look at a video. Probably we will not see the entire video, but let's see as much as we can, okay? Just make sure that I am sharing the audio with you. Okay, so let's take a look at this video. First, it is reviewing the active and the passive voice a little bit, and then pay a lot of attention to this. Esto no es solo un extra. Quiero que pongan mucha atención a algo que va a asomar ahí, okay?
Architect designs the building.
Can you hear the audio?
Yes, teacher.
All right. So a quick review of the passive voice here, right? This is active, of course.
Right. Now this is the active voice.
What is the first step to creating a building? ¿Cuál es el primer paso para crear un edificio? El arquitecto diseña el edificio, pues obviamente, ¿no? And this is active voice, as you can see.
Because I use the doer first. Because the architect is the person or the thing in the sentence doing the verb.
Doer, que sería igual el sujeto, not the subject.
And designs is my verb. So we call the architect the doer. It's doing the verb. And the building, well, the building is receiving this action. It's receiving the verb from the architect. So we call this the receiver.
Otra manera de decir el objeto. Entonces podría ser receiver y objeto, aunque aquí ha escrito mal receiver, se ha equivocado, es la E antes de la I, pero no importa. Right?
Right? The voice. So remember the passive voice.
En la voz pasiva cambiamos, como habíamos visto, voy a saltar un poquito.
We start with the receiver. And then we always change the verb in the passive voice. And we use be and a past participle. The architect designs the building. In the passive voice, it reads, the building is designed by the architect.
Claro, el edificio es diseñado por el arquitecto, ¿no es cierto?
Okay. The building is designed, and I don't need to use the second part, this part that
esa parte es opcional, ciertamente.
tells me who is doing
it. En este caso, si es que no es un arquitecto conocido en particular, que sea Gaudí o algo por el estilo, sino hablando del proceso en general, el primer paso es que el edificio es diseñado, no necesito especificar por el arquitecto porque ya se da por hecho, ¿no?
Why? Because the receiver is the most important part of this sentence. That's
Como dijeron por ahí, el receiver, quien recibe la acción, el objeto, es la parte más importante.
what I want to talk about. So why do we use the passive voice? Well, for those reasons. First, it's not important what is doing the action, right? Again, we use this for describing a process sometimes. We're not saying who is doing it, but we want to say what is done. For example, using the receiver first. That's the emphasis of the sentence. Also, it's obvious what is doing the action, so maybe it's not necessary to talk about the doer if it's obvious who is doing the action. And the other reason is that it's unknown what or who is doing the action. So for those three reasons, we put the emphasis of the sentence on the receiver and not the doer, and that's why we use the passive voice.
So notice something. Ustedes ya estudiaron en ciclos pasados la voz pasiva y ahora le acabamos de repasar en esta clase. Ahora lo que vamos a ver es la voz pasiva pero aplicada a procesos, ¿no? Por ejemplo, si ustedes quieren describir cómo se hacen papas fritas, podrían decir como se eligen las papas, se pelan las papas, se cortan las papas, se lavan las papas, se ponen en aceite. Noten ese se. Parece que estoy cantando reggaetón, pero no. Noten ese se. Entonces, al comienzo de cada oración, ¿no es cierto? Notice that. Y eso, como les decía en español, no tengo una forma gramatical precisa para poner ese se hace, se escribe, se lava, se pela, se corta, como para ir describiendo procesos también. Entonces lo que uso en inglés es la voz pasiva. La voz pasiva sirve para muchas cosas, como el ejemplo que vimos. La Mona Lisa fue pintada por Leonardo da Vinci, ¿no es cierto? Pero también me sirve para esto otro, para indicar procesos. All right, so that is the idea. Let's continue watching a little bit until we finish the class.
what are the steps? So there are many steps when we make gallo pinto, but maybe the first step, and maybe the most important step, is this, that you cook the beans.
Esa sería la forma de decirlo en voz activa, ¿no?
Now, this sentence is in the active voice because I'm using you, and that's the doer, because the doer cooks the beans, and the beans.
Y en realidad esto también es interesante mencionar. En inglés sí suele usarse la voz activa para describir procesos. En español es raro decirlo así. O sea, bueno, sí podría ser. Primer paso, cocinas los porotos, cocinas los frijoles, ¿no es cierto? O los frijoles, como prefieran. Cocinas los porotos. Tú, ¿no es cierto? Como para el proceso. Así no seas tú necesariamente el que lo vaya a hacer, pero suelen decirse los procesos de esa manera. Pero en inglés es más típico. Entonces, esto es típico usar en inglés para decir cómo se hace algo, empezar todas las frases con you. Si es que uso voz activa. If I am using the active voice. Otherwise, de lo contrario, lo que voy a usar es la pasiva. What I'm gonna use is the passive voice. Okay?
Beans are the receiver. They're receiving this action. But I don't want to use the active voice. I want to use the passive voice for process because, well, first, I don't need to talk about who does this. I don't need to talk about the person. I want to talk about the beans. I want to talk about the process. So, for example, the beans are cooked. And this is the passive voice.
Literalmente esto se traduciría como los frijoles son cocinados. Y tiene sentido. Pero al describir un proceso, eso en español me suena un poquito raro. Al describir un proceso, lo típico sería en español decir, se cocinan los frijoles, ¿no es cierto? Solo que notan, una vez más repito, en inglés literalmente no existe esa forma gramatical. No existe el se cocinan los frijoles, ¿sí? Pero lo que sí existe es la voz pasiva. Los frijoles son cocinados y ese va a ser el equivalente en inglés de se cocinan los frijoles, ¿sí?
As I begin with my receiver, the beans, and then I use my passive voice conjugation. I use be in the plural form and past participle cooked. The beans are cooked. That's the passive voice. There's a modal.
All right, good. So that's good enough for today, guys. And we'll continue checking this out on Monday. And good news. So no homework for the weekend, okay?
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome, guys.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome, everybody. See you around.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome, everybody. Thank you for your attention and have a nice weekend. Remember that the videos are on YouTube. I mean, the classes are uploaded to YouTube. So if you missed something or if you didn't understand something very well, you can check them out there, okay?
Thank you, gracias.
You're welcome. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. Have a nice weekend.